Let's go back to Mike Santoli, who is checking out the chart. Mike.
Yeah, Sarah, I mean, the Wall Street Journal today presented it as a question of whether investors are getting overconfident. This little jump in margin debt that we saw. This margin debt more or less tracks the S&P 500. I mean, the equity market cap of the country is the collateral for margin debt. So maybe it develops into a problem. Maybe this fits in with a lot of other indicators of heavy speculation going on right now.
What does it tell you, though, about how exposed people are to things like leveraged ETFs and other ways that they take on this debt?
Yeah, that doesn't actually get measured in here. So I could point to a lot of other things, certain types of ETFs that are basically pure momentum and pure daily leverage. That stuff has looked a little bit crazy. Look at all the huge volumes in call options. Those are inherently leveraged instruments. You pay a small amount and you get exposure to a lot of upside with 100% downside risk if it doesn't go above that strike price.
And so, Mike, would this include big hedge funds that use leverage within their strategies or not?
Yeah, it does get captured in a lot of it. I mean, not all of it, I don't think, is necessarily technically kind of New York Stock Exchange margin as they measure it, but it would get you some of that. Now, hedge funds could also be using leverage of other sorts as well with futures.
He gets very sick if he doesn't eat organic food.
Self-destruct sequence activated. 3, 2, 1.
Is this your homework, Larry?
Ask him about the car, man.
Is this yours, Larry? Is this your homework, Larry?
Is that your car out front?
Is this your homework, Larry?
We know it's his fucking homework. Where's the fucking money, you little brat?
All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Johnny here, and I hope you are all having a wonderful Friday. As we head into the weekend, we are looking at some pretty interesting price action here out of Bitcoin. Today, we did get a nice pump here as we bounced off this 204-hour EMA, and price action is continuing to push to the upside, inching closer and closer to that all-time high of $42,000. Now, I've been digging through the charts all day, and I found something that is a little bit scary, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to play out. Actually, let me just go ahead and show you guys. So we'll just get right into this. Again, this is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. And I was playing around with some harmonic pattern ideas today. And just because the price action was looking a little funky to me and it definitely looked familiar, so I started playing around with some fibs. And what do you know? I did find two perfect bullish and bearish Gartley harmonic patterns playing out right next to each other. And right now, you know, I thought this idea may have been invalidated as the price action started to continue to push to the upside, and it was looking pretty damn healthy too. I mean, we were getting some pretty decent volume as the price was just chugging right along, moving further and further to the upside, but it looks like we may be looking at a pretty sharp, very sharp correction out of Bitcoin. So this would be a bearish Gartley. The bullish Gartley did play out perfectly. It fits well within the rules for placing a Gartley pattern on a chart. And you know, we did get the bullish Gartley to play out, is still continuing to push to the upside. And, you know, we are heading towards that all-time high. Now, a price break that would breach this level right here, 40,271, which would be the X on the bearish Gartley here, that would indeed invalidate this bearish Gartley idea. But I did find something else, and it's a little bit scary, and I'm almost nervous to share with you guys. But just in case this does play out, I really want to get this out to you guys so you can be prepared in the event that it does. So let's go ahead and actually zoom out to the daily. So this idea here, if price action does not break the $40,116 level, which would invalidate this idea. That is where the X point is in this bearish Gartley. Now you have to keep in mind that the X, A, B, C, and D points in a harmonic pattern are really areas of time, not necessarily specific price points. So you want to try to see if they, one, fit within the fib rules per the Gartley pattern that you're trying to analyze. And number two, they fit within the Fibonacci time sequence, which these both do perfectly as well. And you want to also find these typically in pairs. So when you see a bearish Gartley, there's a very good probability that you will see that you had seen a bullish Gartley before the bearish Gartley. And sometimes it plays and vice versa as well. Sometimes you'll see a bearish Gartley before a bullish Gartley, but these do tend to be topping patterns, and sometimes they do precede a nice sharp correction to the downside. So this idea says we could be looking at a $30,000 or a $32,000 Bitcoin, and if price action breaks it down below that, we could be looking at a $26,000 or even a $25.4 thousand Bitcoin. And interestingly, if we take a anchored VWAP and place it down here right at the breakout of this parabolic trend, that does put us right in the area of the measured move of this bearish Gartley. So we could be looking at a pretty severe correction to the downside, somewhere in the realm of 20 to 34%. Now, here is the scary idea that I did find. So if we go ahead and zoom out to the daily, and we just take a big old zoom out here, what do you know? So we did find a harmonic pattern here, and as you may know, Bitcoin does like to have its price action show up in fractals. So what we are looking at right here is a very large harmonic pattern here on the daily time frame, and this could mean that we could be looking at a very, very sharp correction out of Bitcoin that could take us down to some pretty seriously low levels. And to be honest with you, I really don't think that this is going to play out. But the fact that it is here and that it does fit within the parameters of determining a harmonic pattern. Okay, so we took a look at this on the daily. Here it is zoomed out on the weekly. Now, if we take a measured move down to the 386, it does happen to line up with the 200 weekly EMA all the way down at $9.628 thousand. Now, this isn't my opinion. I feel like a conspiracy theorist sharing this with you guys, but the confluence and the environment for another market crash is really there, and this is a very real possibility. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen, and I'm not trying to spread FUD, as I said before, but if we do go up and get firmly rejected at that $42,000 level, you can't say I didn't warn you guys. It's kind of scary. So I figured I would just share that with you guys just in case. So if this idea does indeed play out, what we will be looking for here is a push back up to the all-time high. So somewhere right around the area of $42,000. At which point, if this is what is going to play out, we should get a very, very sharp correction almost as soon as price hits and or breaks this $42,064 level. So it's definitely something to keep an eye out. Now, it might not even play out. It might just be a coincidence that, you know, the larger time frame of Bitcoin does look like a giant harmonic, but it's definitely possible, and I definitely wanted to get this out to you guys. So keep your eyes open, keep your heads up. We could see some pretty interesting stuff happen this weekend. And, you know, with the pump out of the DXY and the incredible gains we've been seeing out of the stock market, there's a lot of confluence surrounding the idea of an upcoming market crash. The idea of this harmonic pattern being present on such a high time frame and possibly playing out is pretty scary. So we could be looking at a pretty severe market crash here in the very near future. So just keep your eyes out, keep watching price action, and, you know, really be ready in case this does happen. But if it does not, you know, I'll be back with a bullish idea, and we could be looking to push further to the upside. I don't mean to be a bear. I don't mean to spark any FUD. I am a perma bull on Bitcoin, but this is something that I definitely needed to share with you guys. So let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the comments. Please let me know if you're bullish, bearish, think I'm just insane, psycho. It's really not my opinion. This is just what I'm seeing on the chart. So I figured I'd share it with you guys. All right. Have a great weekend. Peace.